My Lord, it's a great pleasure to follow the Noble Lady Baroness Boycott and to thank the Noble Lord Riesdale for introducing this bill, which, as the Noble Lord Oates said, is very similar to one introduced by my honourable friend Caroline Lucas in the other place. I also want to join others in congratulating so many people who've been campaigning so long and hard on this bill. I can remember getting an email from someone saying, I just got this leaflet through my door in Oxford about this bill. What's it all about? I'm not used to getting leaflets about bills coming through my door. And so congratulations to everyone who's been working so hard on this bill. And what I'd say to you, you're making politics what you do not have done to you. This is a process which I'm afraid doesn't necessarily work very fast, but it's so crucial. Now, I want to pick up, indeed, starting and working on rivers, as the Noble Lady Baroness Boycott was, because when we're talking about the climate and ecological emergencies, it often means we're talking very abstractly. Well, I want to be really concrete, and I'm going to, on this Friday afternoon, be really kind to your Lordship's house and those who've joined us, and put you all beside a lovely river in Norfolk. The water is flowing, you're under the shade of a lovely big tree, you've got your toes in the water. It looks idyllic. But what's actually happening in that river? Let's say it's on Sunday when the heat wave that others have referred to has hit. The water is getting warmer and warmer, which means there's less oxygen for the animals that live in it. Once that water temperature gets past 20 degrees Celsius, it's actually hostile to the life of those animals. There's, as the Noble Lady Baroness Boycott referred to, huge, unbearable levels of pollution in that river already, but with the evaporation that comes from the high temperatures, the water disappears and the pollution becomes even more concentrated. When we think about what might be in that river, bullhead fish, white-clawed crayfish, both red-listed species. We need to have joined-up thinking, as the Noble Lady Baroness Boycott said. The climate and ecological crises, the way we have poisoned our planet with pesticides and artificial fertilisers and all kinds of other novel entities. All of these things together are making our planet unlivable. And what this bill seeks to do is create a response that's fit for the Anthropocene. Now, the Noble Lady Baroness Bloomfield is doing great Sherpa work for a number of departments today, so I'm not going to necessarily expect a response from her to this right now, but I would ask her to take back to DEFRA. Hopefully we'll get a response from the National Farmers Union Foundation of Food report out this week, which is focused on the importance of soil and how the Sustainable Farming Initiative, the government policy, is simply not doing enough. And this picks up the points made by the Right Reverend Powlett, the Bishop of St Albans. And perhaps when we think about biodiversity and ecology, we don't really think about soil. We still far too often think about soil as dirt. But if you think about a square metre of healthy soil, which will have hundreds of thousands of small animals in it, and 90% of the species, of those species, have yet to be named. We don't even understand in any meaningful sense what's there. There will be kilometres of fungal filaments, and all of those systems will be working together in a healthy soil with the plants. The plants will be taking up to 40% of the energy they create from photosynthesis to feed into those species, a whole ecological system. So the next time you look out of a train window and see a field level, neat and tidy, ploughed, think about how much has been destroyed by the passage of the plough over that soil. And look at the fact that the National Farmers Union is saying we need to do much better to protect that life. Now, I finally want to briefly get to the, I think, really important provision in this bill for a climate and nature assembly. Deliberative democracy has, as we saw with the Climate Assembly, which sadly was rather disrupted by the arrival of the COVID pandemic, which is, of course, itself related to the global ecological emergency, but the Climate Assembly produced excellent, practical, democratic proposals. And if you ask me what should we do about any of the multiple crises that are facing us now, my answer will always be what we need is democracy. We have the people of the UK who know where we are now is profoundly unsustainable, economically, socially, environmentally, politically, educationally. They've got so many brilliant ideas, plans for ways forward. And I will just mention an excellent report from Natural England, Facilitating Dynamic and Inclusive Biodiversity Conservation in Britain, out again this week, which focuses on listening to people, working with communities, a place-based approach to solving our climate and ecological emergencies. This bill really shows the government a way forward. And another noble lord said that maybe the government doesn't like People's Assembly's approaches. I would suggest to the noble lady, the Minister, that she talks to Baroness Barron, because I know she was, in a different departmental role, involved in overseeing those and seeing those work very successfully.